Sergey Nilov and Dmitry Golovchenko climbed some of the world's hardest alpine walls, but in a heartbreaking 12 months, they were both killed on Gasherbrum IV. 1 year ago, on August 31st, Sergey Nilov and Dmitry Golovchenko were exhausted but satisfied as they melted snow outside of their small two-person tent. The Russians were preparing a hot drink before catching some rest on a precarious ledge at 7684 meters, high up on Gasherbrum IV's gigantic southeast ridge. They were nearly at the end of the technical difficulties. Just one steep headwall separated them from the summit ridge. They had found a small spot on the ridge to pitch their tent for the night. The ground appeared problematic, broken rock covered with ice. The two Russians fixed the tent to a rope loop. Very quickly, however, they realized that the ground was too sloped, and the tent was in danger of slipping. Sergey climbed out to level the platform and threw Dmitry a safety rope. A short time later, Sergey heard his friend call out, "Sergey, I'm falling!" And Nilov watched with horror as the tent and his dear friend fell off the ledge and into the airy black void. Nilov barely survived the descent himself, a nightmare of both technical alpine terrain and overwhelming grief, but he made it down to the glacier where he found Golovchenko, wrapped him in their tent, and moved his body near a crevasse at 6,950 meters. Then he stumbled back to base camp, which he reached 5 days later. Sergey spent the nights in snow caves, wrapped in 2 sleeping bags, and suffered severe frostbites. 10 months later, on the initiative of Dmitry Golovchenko's father and brother, a team organized by Russian Federation of Alpinism and led by Sergey Nilov set out to recover the body of Dmitry Golovchenko and return him to his family. Nilov and Golovchenko had been friends and climbing partners for over 22 years, spending long stretches of time both in the mountains together, on cutting-edge expeditions, but also back home in Russia and on family holidays. Nilov needed to recover his friend's body. In the early days of August, Nilov, Alexei Bautin, Mikhail and Sergey Mironov, no relation, and Evgeny Yablokov set off for Gasherbrum IV with this sole goal. They arrived at the base of the mountain on August 11th, beneath a hazardous icefall between Gasherbrums III and IV. A separate team had previously inspected the area and told them they had seen the icefall where Golovchenko lay, noting that it had become much more broken and complex since August 2023. The icefall does not look safe, they advised. The upper front of the glacier has collapsed. The body wrapped in a tent is nowhere to be seen. But part of the icefall had been navigated safely by Alice Cheeson and Tom Livingstone, who had just completed the first ascent of the west ridge of Gasherbrum III, and they left a tent at 6,000 meters with gas canisters for the Russians to use during their recovery mission. But on August 17th, while moving through the icefall, a serac broke loose and hit Nilov, Mikhail, and Sergey Mironov. Nilov disappeared into the icy wreckage, while the other 2 climbers were badly injured and initially unable to move. In the meantime, Alexei Bautin and Evgeny Yablokov had fallen ill at base camp, and after the accident were unable to assist their comrades on the mountain. The Russian Federation and Pakistani military deemed the icefall too dangerous to perform a helicopter rescue, so they deposited a rescue party of Pakistani climbers at base camp. The pilots scanned the icefall from above, spotting the moving but injured Mikhail and Sergey Mironov, as well as the prone figure of Nilov. The following day, Mikhail and Sergey Mironov managed to descend a small section of the icefall and miraculously found Nilov's bag with painkillers, food, and gas, which enabled them to survive another night. The rescuers finally reached the duo on the 20th and helped them descend to advanced base camp at 6,100 meters. This included the Pakistani rescuers, Yusuf Ali, Muhammad Ali, Ghulam Abbas, and Muhammad Yunus, as well as Russian team member Evgeny Yablokov, who escaped the initial serac fall and returned to lend a hand. Unfortunately, all attempts to find Sergey Nilov were in vain. A layer of fresh snow has covered the mountain, and pilots and rescuers searching the area found no trace of the Russian climber. The Russian Federation of Alpinism has confirmed that search efforts have been called off. Finally, Nilov's body will rest on the same mountain that took the life of his climbing partner, Dmitry Golovchenko, last year, just 500 meters apart.